Hello everyone, welcome to AWS classes. So yesterday we conducted a demo class that was our first class, Introduction to AWS, and we also talked about creating a trial account so that every day whatever concepts we will explore, we can try them, we can do a hands-on for that one. So we are starting with logging in into our trial account. So there are two type of logins. The first one you can see that's login as a root user. Root user is like a admin. You can say you have the full privilege on your account. You can do anything on AWS account. You can add more users. You can delete users. You can do anything. But definitely in a team, we cannot give the root access or the admin access to each team member. That means along with the root user, we would need few more users, and those are known as IAM user. How to create IAM user and how to log in as a IAM user, that we will be exploring in today's class. For now, I'm logging is as a root user. So I created my trial account yesterday. I'm entering my email address. I just created a new Gmail ID for my trial account. So I'm clicking on next. I will enter my password. Okay, what is that? 4xty6. Okay, where is that code? On the email ID. Okay, just give me a moment. I will check that. I think they have increased the security so much. Earlier, I was just entering the email address and password, but now they are asking email address, some random code, and code sent on my email address as well. And along with that, there will be even more layer of security that we will be talking about. But before that, just give me a moment.
We used to have that skip option initially, but now they
Yeah,
removed that
yeah,
option.
maybe after some time they will not give you the skip option, and you have to enable it. So slowly
Okay.
and gradually, they are like you can say enforcing the security. So I will explain what is that.
Is there a way we can switch that verification code, send it to our phone instead of email?
We'll do that. I will explain that.
Okay.
Okay, so I am entering the code received on my email and we will continue. Okay, perfect. Now, first of all, we will do a solution for that thing because each and every time it will bother you. So, how to do that? On the right side, you will click on your account name. So, when you created your trial account, it asked for like your name, your email address, and one more thing was there, account name. Account name you can give anything. Usually in product in projects and in companies, we have multiple accounts like dev account, stage account, production account. So we can give some meaningful name because every account has a unique 12 digit number. You can see that remembering that 12 digit number is very difficult. So you can give a meaningful account name, and that will help you to identify. So for my purpose, I have given some name like training January 2025. I have given some name. Okay, so we'll go to settings. Not here. uh, Let me give you some introduction about AWS console first. We'll go to that security thing as well. So this is your AWS console. On the right side you can see your account name. Along with that you can see your account ID. You can click on, there are different options like account, service quota, billing, and cost management as well. You can click on billing. That's very important thing. Yesterday also I was throwing some light on that, that if you enable the alerts, it will make sure that if you are about to cross the free limit of any service, it will intimate you on the email. So how to do that? There are many options, but you can scroll down on the left side and you will find some billing alert, something billing preference. You can see that. Okay, click on billing preference, and after clicking on billing preference, it will ask you your email address. You can see that. Alert preference, AWS free tier alerts not delivered because it's not yet enabled. So we'll click on edit, and let's this one. Okay, and provide the email address here. So I will provide my email address. That's the very first step which I do whenever I create a trial account. That's very important step. So you also do that, so that in case by mistake you forget to stop any service, at least you get some information on that. Okay. Let's click on update. Okay, perfect. That's one time activity. You will not be doing that every day. That's done. After that, if you just come little bit left side, there will be a global option you can see. If you click on that, it will display different regions. So AWS has data center on different regions. You can see on very high level, US East 1, US East 2, West 1, West 2, North Virginia, California. Similarly, if you come Asia Pacific, Mumbai, Singapore, Sydney, Tokyo, Canada, Europe, you can see all the regions. Okay. By default, North Virginia will be selected. Initially, global will be selected, but if you want to do anything, I will tell you what's the difference, like which region to choose. It depends upon where is your user base. For example, you are launching an e-commerce website in India. That means you are expecting most of your users traffic from India. In that case, if your server is located in India, that would give a better experience to your users, right? Otherwise, there is no difference. You can even launch one server in US region and your user base can be in India. It's okay. I mean, there will be little bit delay, few seconds delay, but for a better experience, you can definitely get a server which is local to your users. That you can do. Okay. After that, if you come on the left side, there is a search bar. That is the most important thing, and we will use it every day. Basically, in this search bar, you can search for any service, and maybe in the beginning you are not even aware. Yesterday someone was talking about different services like IAM, S3, Athena, code build, code pipeline. But suppose you are not even aware like what type of services are there. In that case, you can click on these dots and it will display all the services. You can see that, starting with analytics. So under analytics we have Athena. What Athena is, we will be exploring in upcoming days, but on a very high level, all the services related to analytics are listed here. You can click on the next one, application integration. You can find few more services, blockchain, then compute. You can see that app runner, batch, EC2, global view, beanstalk, then containers. You can say container registry, container service, Kubernetes, and many more. Click on database. Okay. Similarly, you can find developer tools or check database, right? So DocumentDB, DynamoDB, Elastic Cache, and many more type of databases. There are more than like 200 services. Does not mean that we have to learn all, because AWS is very dynamic. They keep on adding more and more services. So we will learn the good amount of services which are good to start with any data engineering project, data engineering job. And going forward, if any new service is coming or as per our project's need, we may have to learn more services. That also we can do. Okay. So now the point is there are hundreds of services, and how do I check them? So you simply go to search bar and you can search it from there. The very first service which we will be starting today is IAM. IAM stand for Identity and Access Management. As I was explaining, that root user is the, you can say, owner of the account, admin of the account. But along with the root, along with the admin, we need more users as well. So creating the users, creating the groups, giving them the permission, managing the security, and whatever option that was coming, right? Everything is related to IAM. So I search for IAM and you can click on the first option. Okay. So the very first thing we will do is enabling that MFA, multi-factor authentication. So let it come and it will display. You can see this one. The very first option on the screen is security recommendation. Add MFA to the root user. Because we created our root account, I mean, created our trial account with root user, and we did not add any multi factor authentication. Nowadays, in our companies, in our office, you must be using some app, right? Some code will appear, you will enter that. That's additional layer of security. The same is required for AWS. I will tell you why. I mean, till last few years, it was not mandatory to enable this. Although they were recommending, but it was not mandatory. Why we do that? Because sometimes there are hackers, right? They can hack your account. They just need your email address and your AWS password. Somehow, suppose they are able to get your email address and password, you know what they can do? They can launch hundreds of server from your account. and that will be ultimately adding cost to your card, because your card was used for creating the trial account. So it's very important to secure your account, definitely root account, because if any IAM user is there, right, IAM user is having very limited permissions, and we will decide what type of permission we want to give to that IAM user. So if someone hacks the IAM user, it's not that risky. Although we can enable MFA for IAM user also, but that's not that risky. But if someone get to know about your root user email address and password, your account is definitely at risk. They can do anything. So that's why the very first thing we will do is enabling the MFA. So we'll click on add MFA. Okay. So there are different mobile apps available for Android and iPhones. I will show you the list as well. First of all, you can put some device name, anything. I would say my AWS training, or let's keep it simple. My AWS MFA. That's all. Okay. Scroll down. Next one is different options are there. Either you buy a pass key or security key. If you remember a few years back, there was a small device. I was having that device from my office, and it was every 30 seconds some number was flashing. But nowadays, with the advancement of technology, we don't need to buy that hardware. We don't need to buy the token. We can go with Authenticator app. That's the most convenient way. We can go with this. Okay, and click on next. So I will show you the list. Different. You can see that. See a list of compatible application. Let me click on that. Okay, and you will find many virtual authenticator apps. Where is the list? Okay, you can see that. For Android, there are this one: Twilio, Duo Mobile, Microsoft Authenticator, Google Authenticator, and Symantec VIP. Personally, I use Google Authenticator. Let me open that. Okay, so I use Google Authenticator. You can also use as per your choice. The same all type of apps are available for iPhones as well. So you can use Google Authenticator. I have already installed it. So we will proceed with the next step. So I am coming back here. Okay. So the QR code, and I will go to my app. There's a plus button over there. It's giving me option of scanning the QR code. I'm scanning it, and good. I am done. So it's asking me two continuous code. So I'm entering it 568049, and I will wait for a few seconds. After that, I will enter the second code. So only while setup you have to enter two times the two continuous code. Otherwise, every day for login you just have to enter only once. So give me a moment. After few seconds, my code will change, and then I will put the new code 175892. Okay, and add MFA. Okay, perfect. So tomorrow when I will log in, it will ask me email address, password, and this code. Okay, any doubts till now? Anyone is having any question?
No, Neeraj.
Okay, that's good. Let me open the PDF because we will be starting with today's topic. So I will share the PDF on daily basis, but my preference is not to go through the slides. Slides is only for your reference later on, but I will be showing each and everything on the trial account. So we'll just have a quick look at the agenda. So we'll be talking about IAM service and root account versus IAM account, IAM user. I will explain about that. MFA we have already covered, right? Then IAM users, IAM groups, IAM roles, AWS managed policies, and creating customer managed policies. This is the agenda for today's class, and each and everything we will be doing practically. Okay, so the slides will give you help. I mean, I have taken the possible screenshots and the steps and everything. You can either follow PDF or you can follow the recording, and you can do the things practically on your trial account. So I will not be staring at the screenshots, rather we will come on the web and we'll do live. Okay, so the first thing we will do is users. First of all, I need to create some user, because suppose I have some few team members, they also want to log in into the AWS console, and I don't want everyone is trying to create the trial account. That's not required. I mean, for training purpose you guys can create your own personal trial account, but In a company, when you create a one account and after that you have 10 team members, 20 team members, they can log in into the same account, but you have to create the users for them. So there is no user as of now. As you can see, we'll be creating our first user. Put some username. I would say I am user Neeraj. Okay, you can give any meaningful name. Next is provide user access to AWS Management Console optional. What is that? I mean, when a user is getting access, does not mean that he or she is only logging into the UI. UI is not the only access. Even without UI, they can get the access. That means they can connect to AWS account remotely from Python code, from some other tools. They don't actually need to log in into the UI only. But UI gives more flexibility, right? They can easily view the things and all. So this is optional, but you can always give this. I will give the access as well. Okay. Now there are two options. Specify a user in identity center. That's a new style of creating IAM user, or you can do this one second one as well, like this. Okay. So you can create the second one. Let's see the read the first one. What is that? We recommend that you use identity center to provide console access to a person. With identity center, you can centrally manage user access to the AWS accounts and cloud application. That's fine. We can go with the second one also. Okay, because second one you get more flexibility. You can choose your own password, and user must create a new password at next sign in if you want. Usually, you remember when we request for new account, they will create the account with some temporary password like AWS at the rate 123. That's a common password for everyone, but they are expecting you that whenever you log in first time, you log in with that random password and then change the password. So you can do that. So I am putting some password here. So either you can go with auto-generated password, if it will generate some alphanumeric code, and if you want to provide some custom one, you can do that. I will provide some custom. Okay, and I can remove this because whenever I have already set my password. I mean, I will be using this username, right? If I'm creating for someone else, I can put very random password, and I can give this flexibility that these people can change the password. Okay, I will click on. Let me remove this for myself and next. Okay, so creating IAM user is one thing, but as I told you, if you are not granting any permission to that user, then there is no point. So the next thing is adding some permissions. There are multiple ways to add the permission. The easiest way is add user to a group. For example, you already have one developers group, and the developers group has some permissions, and a new developer is joining on Monday. So instead of granting the access separately, simply add that user to the group. So he or she will get all the required access. That's the best way. But for now, because our account is very fresh, very new, there is no group available for now. Second option is copy permission. Maybe some other user is there and you want to copy exact same access. That also you can do. But as of now, we don't have any user also because this is the first user. We'll go to the third option. Attach policies directly. AWS provides a lot of inbuilt permissions. You can see that more than 1,300 permissions policies are available for different services. So one of the service is S3. If you know about S3, I will explain if you don't know. S3 is nothing but a cloud storage. It's like a Google Drive. Just like Google Drive is from Google, similarly S3 is from AWS, which stands for Simple Storage Solution. So related to S3, what type of permissions are there? Let's have a look. So you can see Amazon S3 full access, Amazon S3 object lambda access, output access. There are many access. Suppose I will give this Amazon S3 read only access. That means this user should be able to only read the data. I don't want that this user is creating some new data or deleting the existing data or modifying the data. I don't want that. Only read access I'm providing. That I can do. And scroll down, click next, and you can see some details. Username is this. Password custom I have provided. Required password reset, no, because I have already set my password. And this is the permission we are giving. And that's all. Click on create user. Okay, and you can see this email sign in instruction. This is for myself, so it's okay. If it's for someone else, they would definitely need the URL for login, right? Where they will enter the username and password. So this is the URL, this is the username, this is the password. You can copy these details and send it to your team members individually. Okay, so that's all about. What is that? You haven't viewed or downloaded this user's password. If you continue, okay, so this is the last option, I mean last time you can see the password. After that you won't be able to see. So make sure that you copy this information somewhere. So I'm going back. I know the password, it's okay. I can click on continue and we are good. Okay, before we move to the other options, like we have options of roles, we have policies, we have groups. We'll talk about all this thing, but before that I will take a pause for 2 minutes. If you're having any doubts, feel free to ask.
So, as a data engineer, whether we do require to create the users, the infrastructure team will help us in creating the users.
Okay, that's very good question. Definitely, as a developer, you never need to create the users, but you should be aware about it. IAM is a very important service. Whatever AWS service you will be working with, IAM will definitely come into the picture. Why? Because this is related to permissions, and without permission, you can't do any single thing in AWS. If you want to open some page, if you want to read the data, if you want to write the data, I will show you shortly. I mean, we were looking at that number, right? More than 1,000 plus permissions are there, and those are, you can say, pre-tailored permissions by AWS. We can even customize the permissions as well, which I will show you shortly. But creation of user is definitely admin type of activity.
Okay, one more question. When we are giving the permission to the services, let
Mhm,
us say we have created the database.
mhm.
So, at this stage, like I mean, at the user creation level only, we are going to give the permission to the, I mean, data DB permission, or will be like I mean, will be there, will
Both
be covered as part of the DB creation.
will part of DB creation. Whenever we will talk about that service, that point of time, what type of permissions are required, we'll keep on talking accordingly.
Okay,
Okay, let's move to the next
thank
section.
you.
Yeah. Users group. So as I was giving an example, that each and every day, suppose new users are created and more team members are joining, giving them access separately is difficult to maintain. What you can do is you can create some groups. So there is no group for now. Let's create our first group. So I will give, suppose, developers. You can give any meaningful name. Okay. And after that, which user you want to add to this group? So it's optional. If you don't want to add any member now, it's okay, you can add it later, or if you want to add, you can do that. Let's add it right away. So I am adding IAM user nearest to the developers group. And after that, would you like to give any permission to this group? So the user is already having some permission, right? I added S3, but you can add some permission to the group also. So the basically user will get permission from the group plus the personal permissions. So let's look for something. Suppose I will say Redshift. That's a database. I am looking for some permission related to Redshift. Let's check it out. So Amazon Redshift full access. Amazon Redshift query editor. I would say we'll give this one. Okay. And click on create user group. Now the good part is, if tomorrow a new member is joining, we can directly add that user to the group, and whatever permission are added to the group, those will be automatically applicable. If you want to check, let's go back to the user and we'll check the permission for this IAM user nearest. So if you come down, let it load the policies, you can see that. So Amazon S3 read only access, that's coming directly because that was directly added to the user. But Amazon Redshift full access, that's coming through a group, developers group. That means if tomorrow we will remove the permission from the group, it will disappear from this user also. Okay, so that's all about creating the group. And you can see this one for IAM user nearest, it's saying that MFA is not enabled. So that's fine. If you want to enable, you can do that. Otherwise, it's absolutely fine. But for root user, definitely you should do. Coming to the next rules. So basically, sometime we are playing different roles, right? At home, we are playing father role and husband role. Maybe in office, we are playing manager role, right? Similarly, same user may be playing different roles at different times. Sometime you are playing a read write role. I mean, you should be able to create the data, add, insert the rows, or at some other point of time, you may be representing as just a read only, right? Another example is not only human being, sometimes even server needs some permission. Let's take an example. You are launching a server, and that server wants to do something. Server want to connect to a database. So ultimately, what that server can do and what that server cannot do, who will decide that? That will be decided by a role. So we will be creating a role, and that role will be associated with that particular server, and the server can perform only those actions which are allowed in that particular role. I will show you. So click on role and click on create role. So whenever you create role, it will definitely ask you like for which service you want to create the role. So suppose I will take some, maybe EC2. EC2 is nothing but your remote server. EC2 stand for Elastic Compute Cloud. So the name is little complicated. It's not that meaningful, but the simple in simple words is it's nothing but a remote server. Okay. So I am creating a role for EC2. Okay. And then we will click on next. We'll look for some permission. Definitely, suppose I'm expecting that this role will be associated with a server, and I'm expecting that server should be able to uh, let's look for some service. I would say Athena. So imagine Athena full access, or there can be different type of service as well. You can see this Grafana, quick site. We'll go with the first one. Okay, and click on next. So as of now, for testing purpose, I am just adding one permission. I added S3, I added Redshift. But later on, when we will do the real work, and at that point of time, we will actually need some permission. Then we will change it. We can come back any point of time, and we can change the permission as and when required. We can add new, we can remove the existing one. For now, I am just adding some service. Role name, any meaningful name, I would say IAM, not IAM, I would say EC2. EC2 server IAM role. Just some meaningful name. Okay. Description they have already given. Allow EC2 instance to call AWS services on your behalf. Okay. And if you want to change the description, if you want to make it more meaningful, you can do that. Otherwise, I think it's sufficient. And this is the permission we have added. If you want to add more permission, you can do that. There is one more option. You can see add tags, and that is completely optional. So any service you will create in AWS, whether you are creating a user, you are creating a group, you are creating a role, or any other service, database, storage, bucket, file, for each and everything, it will give you the option to add a tag. And that is always optional. What is that? Let's try to understand. First of all, tags does not have any technical significance. No technical significance. It's only for identification. For example, multiple teams are working on the same AWS account, and they are creating some role, and I want to specify that this role is specific for particular team. Just additional information, right? So what I can do is create on add new tag. Just give me a moment. Okay, so tag is a combination of key value pair. So you can add something, I would say team name, and value, anything, I would say alpha, and that's all. So tag has been added, and click on create role. This adding the tag was completely optional, but later on, whenever you will go to the, I mean, suppose some other team member from other team, they want to check. So by looking at the tag, they will say, okay, this tag was created by alpha team, so they will not touch it. They will create their own role. That's the only purpose. There is no technical significance. Another significance of tag is, I will tell you, suppose you want to segregate your cost based upon the tags, because multiple teams are working on the same AWS account. And as a company owner or as a senior manager, I would like to know which team is consuming more. So based upon the tag, AWS can provide you the segregation. The all the resources with tag name, team name alpha, is this coast, and team name beta is this coast and that one. So this is more from a, you can say, monitoring point of view, coast point of view, and just classification point of view. There is no technical significance. Okay, I hope you understood. So if we go back to the roles category, where are those roles? You can see that there are two roles which are automatically created by AWS, which we are not concerned about. The third one, EC2 server IAM role, was created by us, and we just created the role. I haven't associated this role with any server for now. Why? Because we don't have any server. In the next class, most probably next week, when we will be launching our first server, then I will show you how to associate this role with that server. So basically each and every class will be interconnected. That's why it's recommended that whatever we are doing today in today's class, you try to do it practically before the next class, so that you can interrelate the things. If somehow you are not able to do it on daily basis, make sure that you definitely do your practice on the weekend. Otherwise, the more we will move ahead in the course, the level of classes will keep on increasing, and at some point of time it would be like, I mean, you won't be able to correlate the things. Okay, so we are done with users, groups, and roles. I am coming to policy. And before starting on the policy, I would like to take a pause. Any doubt till now, please ask. Okay,
Do they use a tag a lot?
please come again.
I mean, the tag you explained about, do they how much they really use it, or it's just like
We
is it
rarely
like
use that.
really
To be frank, we never use that. We have some requirement from the company side. They are saying that anytime you are launching a server, you need to add a tag. So that's a like a enforcement from the company side. Otherwise, we usually don't use tags.
okay?
That's completely optional. If you want to skip, you can skip that. But you should know what's the purpose. The purpose is only for identification. For example, there are, if you go to a shopping mall, right? There are some on particular product. There's a tag like offer or something, right? So that is just identification. These products are in offer and these are not on offer. Something like that.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
So coming to policy. Okay. So there are so many policies, as you can see. Those are pre-created by AWS, considering different services and different options like read only, read write, full access, all that stuff. But sometime as a developer, you are not looking for, I mean, read only is something you want more than read only. But if you are going with full access, that's giving you everything. So basically you want something in the middle, something customizable. And the permission in AWS you can control at very granular level. You can control each and every small thing. So you are saying, okay, there are so many policies available, but still I would like to create my own policy. So you are most welcome to do that. Click on create policy, and for which service you want to create. Let's go with S3. S3 is a storage. So you can search here, it's already displayed. I will click S3, and now under S3 you will see that, I mean, on high level, what we think, read is one permission, write is one permission. Only two we think, right? Or mostly you can think of delete or modify. So create, update, delete, and you can say modify. 3, 4 you can think. But look at here. There are like more than 100 plus permission. Under list category, there are 16. You can expand that and see this. List access grants, list access points, list bucket, and list multi-region access point, list tag for resources. There are so many permissions, and you can choose whatever you want because you want a customizable permission, right? So I would say under list, I say I just want list bucket. I would say list jobs also, and list bucket version, list all my buckets. Few permission I'm selecting. Under read category, there are 61 permissions. You can choose whatever you want. I would say describe job. Okay. Get object. Get object is basically getting the object. Suppose downloading something. Get object and get bucket version. I will explain about versioning concept as well. Get bucket policy. So you can select as per your need. And if you want to know what exactly is that, you can see that with every permission there's the info button. You can click on that. So if I click on get bucket versioning info, it will display. grant permission to return the versioning state of an Amazon S3 bucket. So you can read this out, and as and when, I mean, whatever permission you're looking for, you can select that. Coming to write category, if you want to select something from write, it's okay. Otherwise, maybe you are just looking for some read type of formation, then no need to select anything. Okay. So I'm not selecting anything from write, but you can expand that, and there are a lot of option available in the write as well. Maybe you would like to allow people to put a new object, I mean, copy the new file, but you don't want to allow them delete. That's also possible. But if you're not creating your customized policy, that means you are giving Amazon S3 full access. Full access means they can do anything. So this is only for customization. For example, in the write, I will give them the permission to create object, or you can say create job. Delete bucket, I'm not giving. I don't want people are deleting my bucket. Delete object also I'm not giving. Okay. Put object I can give. Put object is nothing but putting a new file into the bucket. So I am giving full few selected permissions. Okay. It is saying S3 create job require one more action. What is that? Pass role. Okay. I can remove that. Create job required, not required. Okay. Scroll down and now click on next. What happened? Why it's not allowing me to go? No resource are specified. Okay. We have to select something. Okay. So this permission, would you like to apply on all the buckets? Bucket, what is bucket? I mean, we haven't talked about S3 service for now. We'll be talking about tomorrow. But on very high level, bucket is nothing but a, I would say, global folder. Suppose you are creating a folder name in your PC with the name study material or Mary's photos or something like that, right? That folder other people can also create in their system, right? It will not conflict. But bucket is a global name. That means if I am creating a S3 bucket with some name, then you will not be able to create that. Even if you have a separate AWS account, but you still cannot create, because bucket is a global folder type of thing. So it is saying whatever permission you are talking about, read permission, write permission, list permission, are they applicable to a specific bucket or any bucket? So to make it more secure, you can specify a bucket name. Right now we don't have any bucket. I will keep it any. That means it's applicable to every bucket. So that's fine. Click on next. Okay. Policy name. Any meaningful policy name. I would say S3 custom policy. Okay. And description, I would say customized S3 policy for alpha project. Some meaningful description. Tomorrow, if someone else is coming to IAM section and they are looking at your policy, they should know what this policy is all about. Who created that? What was the purpose? So provide some meaningful description. And this permission we have given. S3, so very limited permission we have given. Under list category, under read category, under write category, we have given some permission. Tags, again, optional. If you want to add, it's okay. Don't want to add, skip it. So we'll click on create policy. So policy has been created, but only created. It's not attached to anyone. And until or unless it's not attached, it has no effect. So you can do two things. Either attach it to a user, or you can attach it to a group, or you can even attach to a role as well. So let's do one thing. Let's go back to roles. Okay. I will quickly show you. You can attach to user also, you can attach to group also, but I will show you how to attach to a role. So earlier when I created the role for my server, I attached one policy, Athena. But now I will add one more policy. Add permission. Attach policy. And search it here. So one difference you will find, whatever our AWS managed policy, you will find this symbol, this yellow symbol. That's AWS symbol. And along with that, you will find type is AWS managed. But if I will search for mine, what was that? S3 custom. You see that the symbol is not there, and moreover the type is customer managed because we created that policy. So I will select this and I will add permission. So this permission will be added to that role, and the role will be added to some server, single server, multiple server, and accordingly the permission will work. Okay. So that's all about policy. In case you are having any doubt till now, you can ask. Let me come back to the slides. We'll have a quick look if there's anything left. MFA we have done, users we talked about, groups we talked about, roles we talked about, policy we talked about, and customer managed policy. So we can customize it. Yeah, that's all. Okay. So since we are in very initial stage of training program, we are going a little bit slow. Slowly and gradually, we will pick up the speed. So we are done for the day. And in case you are having any doubt in today's class, yesterday's class, account creation, or anything, we can still use our time. Okay, seems like there is no doubt. So that's good. So that was all about today's class. Tomorrow we'll be talking about S3. S3 is simple storage solution as we talked about. What is a bucket, how to create the bucket, how to, and S3 class will be conducted in 2 days. That's a big topic. Tomorrow we'll be covering basic concept of S3, and day after tomorrow we'll be covering more advanced topic of S3. Okay, and after that we'll be talking about the launching the remote server. Even launching the remote server, we will have two classes. First class will be the basic one, and the next class will be little bit advanced on EC2 instances. Okay, so that's all for today. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Neeraj,
Yeah.
as
Yes,
a
sorry.
part of this data engineering program, what are the AWS services we are deep diving into?
So yesterday I have shown you the detailed course content, right? Give me a moment, I can show it again. Just give me a moment.
Sorry, I missed yesterday's class. That's why.
No worries, give me a moment. I will. Okay, so this is the detailed course content. So yesterday we started with introduction to cloud computing and creating a trial account, creating billing alerts, brief introduction to AWS services, and IAM. Till here we have completed today. Overview of IAM service, and this was the agenda for today. Tomorrow we'll be talking about S3, which will be covered in 2 days. After that EC2, that's nothing but remote server. After that VPC, virtual private cloud, that's about networking. Then Lambda function, elastic load balancer, Route 53, databases, crawlers, Athena, Redshift, RDS, DynamoDB, CloudWatch, CloudTrail, Secret Manager, KMS, SNS, SES. So I can share this PDF. You can explore in more detail. This is our 6 week training program, training content.
Okay. And Neeraj, are we deep diving into that Glue or Redshift or at high level?
I would say it would be good to start with. I mean, if you are working in a project which is completely on Glue, definitely will be not going that level because we have to cover around 25 to 30 services. But it will be at least getting you a starting over there. You won't be able to, I mean, you won't be facing an issue if you are starting on that project. Once you start on that, they are exploring much more deeper. You will be able to explore during the project time.
Yeah, got it.
And yeah, and after that, suppose I'm covering on a medium level, and after that you are exploring something on deep dive, you can do that. I'm working on these things on very working as an architect, so I have very in-depth knowledge on this. If you are trying something from your side, I'm always open to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, any other question from anyone? Okay, then that's all for today. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same meeting link. And today's recording and today's PDF will be uploaded shortly on the course, which you can access from the mobile app as well as from the website login. In case you're facing any issue in the web login or app login, or you are not able to access in the content, let me know. Most probably today I will create a WhatsApp group so that we guys are on the same page and we can help each other.
Okay. Thanks, Neeraj.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Neeraj.